Hey there. Today, we are diving into Noah Kagan's pretty radical framework for launching a business, not in a year, not in a month, but in a single 48-hour weekend. So let's get right into it.
Think about it. It's a question so many of us have bumped up against. You get that spark, that amazing idea, you feel the passion, but then somehow it just fizzles out. It never gets off the ground. What's going on there?
Well, according to Kagan's work with thousands of what he calls wantrepreneurs, people who want to start a business but just never do, the answer is actually pretty simple. It's not about lacking the skill or the money or even the desire. It really just comes down to two specific, really powerful fears that basically paralyze almost everyone. And here they are. These two fears, they create this vicious cycle, right? First, you have the fear of starting, which leads to endless planning and researching and making spreadsheets, which, let's be honest, is usually just a fancy way of procrastinating. And then, if you do manage to get past that, the fear of asking kicks in. That gut-wrenching feeling of actually asking someone for money and facing that potential no. It's a 1-2 punch that keeps so many brilliant ideas locked away.
So the big question is, how do you break free from that cycle? Well, it all begins with a really fundamental shift in your mindset. You basically have to unlearn the way you've been taught to approach pretty much any new project.
This slide right here just nails the core difference. See, most of us are trained to think and plan and analyze everything to death before we take a single step. It feels responsible, it feels safe, but really it's just guessing. Successful founders, they do the exact opposite. They act first, and they figure things out as they go. Why? Because that's how you get immediate, real-world feedback, and you learn 1,000 times faster.
And that leads us to this simple but incredibly powerful new motto: now, not how. So anytime you feel yourself getting stuck, overthinking the how, just stop. Take one small action, right now. You don't need the whole roadmap. You just need to get the car moving. It's all about building that forward momentum. This whole mindset has a name. Kagan calls it creator's courage. And look, it's not about being fearless. Nobody is. It's about feeling the fear and leaping anyway. Think about the giants. Apple started as a clunky computer kit experiment. Facebook was literally a weekend project in a dorm room. They weren't these grand, perfectly mapped out plans. They were tiny experiments. Success is so often just a byproduct of trying more stuff.
All right, so you've embraced the idea of starting now. That is huge, but it's only half the battle. Now we've got to tackle that second dream killer, the fear of asking.
This quote, wow, this is a total game changer. Noah's father was a copier salesman, and he completely reframed what rejection even means. Instead of something to be afraid of, he made it the goal. Just think about that. If you're actively trying to collect 100 no's, a few yeses are almost guaranteed to pop up along the way. It turns this painful, emotional thing into a simple numbers game that you can actually win.
And this brings us to the ask muscle. The simple truth of life is, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. No ask, no get. And this isn't just about sales. It's about jobs, raises, relationships, everything. The crucial thing to get here is that asking isn't some innate talent. It's a skill. It's a muscle. And just like any muscle, it gets stronger the more you use it.
And here is your first workout. Seriously, the coffee challenge is a brilliant, super low-stakes way to start building that muscle. Next time you buy coffee, just ask for 10% off. That's it. Then be quiet. The point isn't actually to get the discount. The point is to feel that little bit of discomfort, make the ask anyway, and realize that the worst thing that can happen, a simple no, is something you can totally 100% handle.
Okay, so you've got the now, not how mindset. You're ready to start building up your ask muscle. Now, let's put it all together. Let's talk about the concrete 48-hour action plan. The entire process is designed like a weekend sprint. On Friday, your whole focus is just on finding a real problem that real people have. On Saturday, you sketch out a super simple business model to see if solving that problem could actually work. And then on Sunday, and this is the most important day, you validate the entire idea by getting your very first paying customer. So for Friday, you've got to avoid this founder-first trap. This is where you fall in love with your own idea, you spend weeks designing a logo, you build a website, all before you even know if a single person cares. No, you have to take the customer-first approach. Steve Jobs said it best. You've got to start with the customer experience and work backward. Find their problem first, then you can worry about building the solution. Then on Saturday, you build a 1-minute business model. And this slide shows you just how powerful this can be. When Kagan started a beef jerky business, his first model showed he needed 200 sales to hit his goal.
That's a lot. But with a quick pivot to a subscription model, he only needed 33 customers. It's the same product, just a different model, and all of a sudden the goal is dramatically more achievable.
And this all leads us to Sunday, validation, the moment of truth. And it all comes down to getting this, $1 single dollar. Look, that first dollar is everything. It's not about the money, not at all. It's the proof. It's a complete stranger looking at you and saying, yes, the problem you found is real, and yes, your solution is worth paying for. That single dollar is all the validation, all the momentum, and all the permission you need to really go for it.
So we end right back where we started. It all comes back to now, not how. This whole $1 Million Weekend framework, it's designed to do one thing, get you to stop thinking and start doing. So my question to you is, what's the one small experiment you can run, the one tiny ask you can make right now to get started?